so why are there no hearing screening tests for my peers? And how will these tests support me plus other deaf students in schools? Did you know that hearing screening testing is not compulsory for students here in New South Wales? Good morning, everyone. I would like to discuss with you today why it is important that all children should have their hearing tested when they start school. My name is Tobian. This is my name sign. And I am part of a proud deaf family. We communicate in Auslan and English. My dad is a third generation deaf man. That means that his dad and his grandfather were all deaf as well. But my mum, she's the only deaf person in her family. When I was born, I was lucky. And that's because I had access to the hearing screening test. So I was diagnosed as deaf straight away. And that meant that my mum and dad could make sure that I had access to language and communication from day one. I'm very proud that I can use Auslan and English with my family and with my friends. I go to a fantastic mainstream school. It's called Waverley Public School. And they support me there using both Auslan and English. Over the years, I've met many wonderful deaf and hard of hearing people who have great lives because they had their diagnosis when they were young. And because of that, they were able to access the right supports and technology that they needed. But some people with a hearing loss, some types of hearing loss don't get diagnosed until after birth. Imagine if a person sitting next to you in your class has not yet been diagnosed. They would be struggling to understand the teacher and the conversations around them. They would also find it hard to make friends because they can't hear or understand what they're saying. Can you imagine how that person would feel? They would be very lonely. Why can't this person have the same opportunities as me? Why now, in 2019, do we still not have compulsory hearing screening testing? There's lots of proof out there that says early diagnosis means better outcomes. So this situation is not acceptable. When we know that children with a hearing loss, the numbers, it's increasing. New South Wales has vision testing for all children before they start school. So why can't we have hearing testing as well as vision testing at the same time before we start school? There are many symptoms for people who have an undiagnosed hearing loss, and they're often seen as behavioural issues. For example, maybe they won't respond when their name is called. Maybe they would scream and shout a lot. Maybe they don't understand instructions, or they could be very restless. They could also get distracted very easily and distract others in the classroom. Or they could have delayed speech and limited vocabulary. This isn't great, right? So hearing screening would benefit the students. They could get the right diagnosis and they could then access the supports they need for success. This means that they would have a wonderful school experience like Alicia and me. Thank you very much for listening.